Hi, Sarah. So I'm going to go through your course site, practice course site by content area, just making some observations and suggestions. And these are, just observations and suggestions. Some people find it to be good extra practice to go back and try some of these things out. If you just as you noticed when I reviewed over your course questionnaire, you found that it's a little hard for me to separate that it's not a real idea in the way I respond. So I do know this is something that you're using to show me how to use the tools, but I also have some ideas for it too. So bear with me, and then you can ask me any questions you have by email and or in live. I got to thinking what I like to do in these videos is pretend like I'm sitting next to the person and just going through things and showing them things. And I realized, well, I could have done that with you. So if you want to, at some point, we can do that as well. Okay, so great job creating an announcement. Part of this assignment is just to make sure that people that are going to be instructors for us know to create announcements that do three things: welcome and invite and instruct. And I noticed that you do all three of these things very well in here. I'm your instructor, I'm so glad you're here, that's welcoming. Important to know, this is inviting, this paragraph of the things that it's important to know, and here's what we're going to do, and it gets you excited. And then you do some instructions. So you're new to Blackboard, here on the left of your screen, you give them the practical. So you did all of that here, and I thought it was great. I also think it looks like maybe you, I'll take a look and turn on the edit mode in a minute. It looks like maybe you set an announcement to go off a day or two later, and so we'll take a look at that too. Okay, so in order to edit here or anywhere in Blackboard, you have to have the edit mode on, and then there is a little circle just to the right of any title. So one thing I was going to say here, this is really great. You even also say my name is Sarah Beardslee, so it's really probably not necessary, but I want you to know that announcements go out by email between 8 and 15 minutes after they post. And so you have to always be thinking as you write your announcements, especially your first one or two, that your students are going to receive these by email, and you want to prompt them to log in and come to the course site. Because obviously, if you're saying in an email, on the left you're going to see some red and white tabs, and they're reading it in an email, they're not going to see the red and white tabs on the side. And so that's one thing, just to kind of keep in mind. So if you were to edit that, so I was going to say this will go out by email, and so you can sign it, especially the first day or two, you can sign it just like you were writing an email. Although, like you said up here, you put your name, so you wouldn't have to do that, but you can sign it just like, and then right in this paragraph about being new to Blackboard, I would just say, once you're logged into the course site. Okay, so to edit this, you're going to go to this circle and click on Edit. Then to come down, I will show you that this extends the text box if you want to see everything. I just click and drag right there on the corner if you want to see everything. And then of course you could, could even do a, looking forward to working with you. Like that is all I'm suggesting. And then not date restricted is fine. This is your first announcement and you're ready for it to go. You don't have to check this box to send a copy of this announcement, and it's kind of weird because if you do check the box, you can't restrict the date. It won't let you. But if you had an announcement you wanted to make and you wanted it to go out by email immediately, you could check that box. But most of the time you don't need to check it because the emails are going to happen. Okay, I don't want to make a change here, so I'm going to cancel even though I typed in. because I wanted to look at the other one to see. Okay, so you didn't date restrict this one. So let me show you that if you wanted to set this for the Wednesday of the week, then you could date restrict it. And of course that day's over. Let's say I wanted to send it Friday. Then you could display after for Friday, and I almost always set mine for 1 or 2, 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. So I beat the early birds in the room. And then of course you just submit, and then I will not do that. But you can do that. And that may be something, editing and resetting dates on things may be something I ask you to help me with. It may be that I'm trying to get a classroom ready to go and I need some extra help and you have some extra time and we've trained you to do this, and so maybe I could ask you to reset the dates on all the announcements. A lot of instructors reuse their announcements. They're responsible for resetting their own, but I have a couple of classes that I teach and I have a couple of instructors that aren't very good at resetting their own announcements. And so that may be something, we ask you someday to do. So here where it says posted on this date, it actually will say this item is not available. It will be available on Friday at 12:30 a.m. So right there. And then that means that your students can't see it. Anyway, great job with the announcements. That's something I could see you working on for us on. Okay, course instructor. You wrote a really nice paragraph here, 2 paragraphs really, that are about your experience, your work experience, the things that you're able to teach on, a little bit of your criteria for being able to teach this, and then a little personal. And I like that. Playing games, eating popcorn, watching a movie, splashing in puddles, those kind of fun, going on walks together. It shows something that makes the students in a class that you might be teaching bond to you because they see you as a real person. So the only thing I'd say here is what you did was you created a folder. And so folders in Blackboard, you want to think of them like a folder, a manila folder in your desk drawer. You pull out the folder. On the outside, you're going to put a title. You might write a sentence or 2 of description of what's in the folder, but you're going to put the content inside the folder. So what you did here was you created a folder, and if students click on your name to open the folder, they're going to find the folder empty. So that's a little bit confusing. So instead, and also there's a little more information that helps this to look a little more, just a little slightly more professional if you use create contact instead, and then put your name, your email. You do not have to give a phone number. You don't have to give an office location or office hours. If you were teaching a course, you might want to say, between, I'm going to be on every afternoon while the kids nap, I'm going to be on from 1 to 4. So you could expect me to respond to emails from 1 to 4. Then the paragraphs of information that you posted would go in here. And then if you wanted to browse and to add a picture, you would browse here and go locate a picture on your, I think I have one. Of course, it's hard to see. You can see a lot of things in here. Let's see. I think I have one. Yeah, there's my profile picture from quite a while ago because you can see my hair is quite a bit shorter. You edit it offline in the into 150 by 150. As you'll see, the dimensions there should pop up. And then you have to edit it offline, and then you can load your open, and it will load it. Oh, I didn't select it. And then that would load my picture, but of course I'm not going to save it. Anyway, this is again for somebody that's instructing, but I might have you add an instructor. If we are contracted by an outside instructor to build courses, then they may give you these paragraphs and a picture and ask you to build the information into the course instructor. So you want to use create contact. You might go back and practice that just to to see the difference. Okay, email your instructor just shows an email going to you when you're the instructor of a course. Then, of course, I take my name out, so it just comes to you. It shows the person it's from, and it just allows them to email an email that goes directly to your box, your inbox. Okay, course materials. They have several materials here, and I know I had a little bit of confusion, or maybe caused a little bit of confusion when I was looking at your idea, because this is actually something I could see you teaching online, and our learners might like it. So if you decided you wanted to, we might have some takers that would learn this. I'm still probably puzzled over whether this has to be specifically for how to manage your time and set your goals and attain your goals when you're an online student, or if you could make it more generic where it's, how to manage your time and set goals and make your goals in general, so that you might have someone who comes in and wants to write a book. And so, then they may be here because they want to learn time management skills or the goal setting. And part of it is I have peeked through some of this. I didn't open your syllabus. That's probably a good idea. That's something else. Okay. And again, I know that this was all based on an unreal idea, and that's fine. I'm going to minimize that for a second and come back to it. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice is in the content area, what you did here is create files. You went to build content and created a file. That's okay, that's fine. I'm going to show you the difference between a file and an item. And I'm going to show you the difference between what it is like for on the learner end. And I'm hesitating because you're younger, so a lot of this is second nature to you. But you have to think about learners where that this isn't quite second nature to. And I'll show you the difference in what I'm trying to say in just a second. Let me get this typed in. Okay, so I'm going to go to Browse Course in the control panel under Course Files. That's where I have gone, is to find the file, and I just want to find your syllabus. I think you may have named it Course Schedule, Class Schedule. So I'm going to, oops, I just opened it. So I'm going to select that and submit, and that's going to add that. See, it says do not attach, so it's attached it to this item that I'm creating. That's where I tried to open it. And you can also set it to display later. So let's say it's day 3 and you want them to have that time management sheet that you have in here that's nice. You can set it to display after. I think you can probably do that with a file too. The biggest difference with a file is that you can't add those layers of instructions, which all I did was type in instructions, but you could type in a sentence or two of, this is our schedule that we're going to be following for the week. Be sure you save it somewhere safe on your computer. You can rearrange things anywhere in Blackboard with a drag and drop. If for some reason the drag and drop doesn't seem to work, there's also this choice over here that allows you to move things around. Moved it there to the top. Okay, so this is the difference in what looks different. So in this case, there would be a sentence or two of instruction that could be added. That's helpful for, I'll just admit it, learners that are a little bit older than you aren't going to quite get the concept of opening this file as easily. Some of them will, but not all of them. And so you give them a sentence or two of instruction, and typically this is the way I'll have you build. If you're building, I'll have you build it in as an item rather than a file. You click on, then they you even tell them, click on class schedule above to open the document. So they click on the schedule, the document opens, and then they have it. And then, of course, I had this open already. Oh, this is a different one. Okay. Oh, this is a different document. Well, okay. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong one. Here's your skeleton outline. Typically, what I'll give you is a skeleton outline with probably some documents that will be specific, and you will just follow this to build the course as I give it to you. Okay, I'm going to minimize just in case I need to see that again. Okay, so, observing that, then I want to compare that to the observation of opening this syllabus, which I did already do, but think of someone slightly older than yourself having trouble with this. When they click on that and open it, they get here where it says your download will start shortly if it does not click here. And then I'm in Chrome, so mine even went into my downloads folder. I'm not even sure what clicking here will do. See, all it did was downloaded again. So I have to know my system to know to open this document from down here. And then, of course, I was able to open it, and there it is. So that works fine. But then when I want to go back, all of a sudden I'm on this, or I close that and I go to do something, all of a sudden I'm on this very strange page. I don't know where I am, and there's nothing giving me a clue what to do now to get back or go back. We have a lot of learners that are getting more and more comfortable because they've learned online before, but that's one of the reasons I recommend the item over the file, because it's just a little more intuitive for a little bit older folks, I'll be honest. Okay, so anyway, great job putting in. I don't have a problem with how you did it as a file. I will probably want you to do it as an item with a sentence or two of instruction. But of course, you can go back and do whatever you want to do here to there's that class schedule to practice if you want to practice any of this. In every course, I embed a course evaluation form, and that form is a set of about 7 questions. There are 5 just grayscale questions, like to dislike 1 to 5, or agree to disagree 1 to 5, and then 2 essay questions where we receive quite a bit of feedback. We ask every instructor to employ this evaluation towards the end of their class and call their students' attention to it so that we can get some feedback on their course. We use some of that for our website to put in recommendations or testimonies about courses, and then we also use it to help direct or correct an instructor that maybe isn't coming across clearly, that kind of thing. We give them the evaluation so they can read those over. Okay, assignments. So I saw that you understood the assignments folder. This will be something I have you do for me that will be big and helpful and important, is creating the folders and creating the content inside the folders. And so I know I already explained how to do folders, and it looks like you already know how to do folders and have the concept and understand that fine. So even this is perfect to do. The day one has the open this folder, and then the rest of them don't have to, because as days go on, they understand, okay, it's day 2, I'm going to click on this. You can set these to open. So let's say it's Monday through Friday, then you can set this to open on Tuesday at 12:30, and this one to open Wednesday at 12:30, and this one to open Thursday, and this one open to Friday, so that they, and you can do that in advance, so you don't have to be up or get up early and make those available, or leave them all available for. You'll find that students, you have to control the pace of the course a little bit, and students will, they'll move ahead, and maybe you aren't ready for them to move ahead, and so it's better to control the pace a little bit by having things appear. Not that I expected you to, and it's just, again, a little bit of my over-explaining. Okay, so I noticed that you created a discussion board link. That was another thing I wanted to see, the day 1 discussion. And and the other days for things you want them to do for day one. If you were to do something like this, this time management, you might also provide them with the journal tool and a private place to answer these questions, so that if they didn't want to do it publicly, they could discuss some of these things with you privately in the journal. That's a thought, if you were to want to do this. Okay, so day one discussion goes over to the discussion board. On the inside of the forum, which is fine. The only thing is that you see they get over here and there's no item found and there's no instruction. So you have to go back. If you send them to the inside of the forum, then what you have to do, and maybe you did. Yeah, so what you have to do is add another sentence that says, once you're at the forum, click on Create Thread to see the instructions. It's just kind of a little thing with Blackboard. I don't know. It's possible that it might change. We're going to have a little upgrade in January that I hope does a few nice changes to the Blackboard software, but I don't know for sure that this will change. So they would have to click on Create Thread, and then be able to see the instructions where they can answer the questions and then submit so that other people can see. But I saw that okay, so let me go to the difference between inside a forum and the forum table or the forum list. Okay, so the discussion board, this is inside. This linked inside the forum. When I go to the discussion board, I can go there from here. One of these tabs, the discussion board, there's also crumbs up at the top that allow you to go back a step or two. So I saw already that you had created several discussions. This may be something I have you do for us as well, and you understand how to do it. So mostly I didn't really explain it very well, but that's really why Steve asked you to take the training. It's so that you get a little bit on the same page with Be a Disciple, our policies and procedures, and then you show me that you can manipulate some of these tools. It's a convenient time for me to give you this instruction because I'm giving it to other people at the same time. So it's not like then you and I have to find another time in my schedule and your schedule to meet so that I can show you how to do this. So this is the way we train all of our new staff. And especially when Steve said, maybe she could build courses for us. And I said, yeah, let's put her in the training. So that's why we did that. Building forums is really something that you may do for us. And that looks like it would be easy for you. So this is inside the discussion board, I guess is the way I want to say this, where you can see all the discussions. And then when you click on the title of one, you go inside the forum. So I tell people to think of this like a building, and sometimes when I'm helping them to understand it, you've walked into the building now and there are all these different rooms. And now you're going to decide which of these rooms you're going to walk in for discussion. So you're just now inside the building where you see the doors of the rooms, and then when you're ready to decide, okay, I'm ready for the day 2 discussion, then you click on the title in order to now enter the room for the day 2 discussion. But then to see the instructions, you have to click on Create Thread so you can see them. Okay, very good. In each course site, I embed kind of a generic forum, which can be used by the instructor just as it is. It can be edited and tweaked to fit the course better. It can be deleted and the instructor can do their own. I just found that there were instructors that just didn't have a concept on how to build a introduce yourself kind of forum, and so I just started embedding it in every course. Okay, these are some more content areas. If you want to host live sessions, then you have to make these available. This one as the place to access live sessions, and actually I'll click over there because I wanted to show you where the recording is. If you want to see the recording, you could go here to recordings, and it should show here on this list momentarily. Oh, no, that would be in the how-to course. That's not in this course. I didn't do it in this course. I did it in the other IFD 100. Okay, but this is where you schedule a session. This is I usually change this to say test room for a real course, so that then my instructions, live session info, those instructions match up and they can practice the test room. So then you make this available and you call the attention of your students to it and ask them to get ready by going through that content area. Instructor info has quite a few videos. I embed this in every course as well, but it's hidden from students. But here are some other how-to things, how to do some things, how to do a voiceover on PowerPoint, how to do different things in Blackboard. There are just a lot of videos I found that are really helpful for building, and then that way I don't have someone say to me, how do I make a video with my PowerPoint slides? You said we could do that. Well, okay, there are videos in here that will show you how to do that. Okay, communication tools, that goes to just some of the different tools. There are a few of them we use, and most of them, Blackboard does a lot more than, as you may know, it does a lot more than we use it for, but we try to keep it simple for our instructors. Websites, participant FAQs. Oh, it looks like maybe you created another. Good. That means you've played with this. I'm glad. You click on, or you can add content areas by this X up in here. Tool link. Let's see. Yeah, you did it. This is, I assume that you did this. This is the same as the live session. I call it live session access. But live session link is fine too. Okay, and then participant FAQs. Sometimes we may need that tweaked or something. I might ask you to go into some courses and do some of that for me. So wanted to give you things to do that are interesting and fun, but aren't to the extent that you're laying awake at night, not able to sleep because you have this work to do that you can't get done. We just want you to be able to do it as you're able to help us and it's able to help you. So I think that's it, and everything I had to tell you. I guess if you haven't looked through the control panel, you could look through these links in the control panel. We do ask all of our instructors not to change the course colors or the tab colors unless we've decided, for a huge group like the Wesley Ministry Network courses, those are all blue because they wanted all their courses to be blue, so they're all blue. But otherwise, we like a standard look to our courses. So you might click through some of these to see where things are, but users, you might do some of that, but I don't know how much. Anyway, we'll find out. We'll see. I'm sure you can handle it. And thank you so much for doing this. And I will talk to you again soon.